Well, that works for me. Oh, what, you're 72%? Well, that's not working. I used to debate this and people go, well, what works for them works for them. And now I've completely changed that. I'm like, well, unless I'm seeing someone kicking 85 plus, it's not working for them in my head. If you want to do all this with your hands and put you off your actual kick, you're going to end up. The thing what I find most is that they end up in the position they're meant to be anyway. So why are you doing that stuff to distract you? I want you to just stand there, relax, breathe, walk up to the tee and kick the ball. I don't need any of this moving hands because you're just distracting yourself and you're going to end up in the same position that you should. So for me, I've realized it's like, it's so common for people to go, yeah, but it works for them. But I go, well, does it? Does it actually work for you? Are you kicking high enough? So maybe you're not doing it right. Maybe you need to change something because I don't believe that anymore about, oh, well, that works for them. Because unless you're showing me that it is and you're at a high enough percentage, I'd argue that it's not working for you and you need to change something. And that's the mentality I want kickers to have is this growth mindset that you talk about because I do think kickers are the worst. Well, that works for me. Oh, what, you're 72%? Well, that's not working. Encourage kickers to be thinking more about how they can do things better, getting rid of stuff that doesn't actually matter, and really, really have that growth mindset of going, how can I get a little bit better? How can I watch the best kickers? What do they do? Ask questions. So for me, I question that anymore. I don't believe it. If you're not kicking well enough, it's not working. I want to see you kick higher.
It is a great point because it is so often, and I'm sure you're coming across it now. Is like last week I was trying this step back, and now I've added another step, and then I've added this angle, and now my ball setup's like this. I copied Mornay Stain. Mornay Stain was my guy from South Africa, and he was the most simple. He was square. He was on a 45, took 5 steps. There was no wasted anything, and he was sort of my guy that I mimicked. Because I loved how simple it was. And there was Dan Carter. Dan Carter kind of he was very obviously incredible player. Similar to what Johnny did, he had this unique sort of step sideway thing that we all tried to copy, but everyone was really poor at it and not as good as Dan was because it wasn't theirs. So yeah, I agree with the wasted energy. Just on the coaching and Instagram and putting up a few posts and stuff, how have you found it? What have you learnt? Are you enjoying it? Has it helped craft a bit of your framework as a kicking coach as well?
Yeah, definitely. So in the summer I was struggling with a couple of calf injuries and Achilles injuries, and I kind of missed all the preseason, and it happened last summer as well. So I was thinking, geez, maybe I won't get back here, and this could be the end. So, excuse me, I was trying to think, what else could I do? What am I good at, and what do I enjoy? So, kicking was that. I really enjoy it, and I thought I can help people with the. I feel like I look at it a little bit differently to most people with how I started so late, how I'm kind of a bit more open minded, how I go more on actual striking ability rather than being too complicated. And I enjoyed it, yeah. But the worry was that I was doing it live. I was the kicker who you'll see on a Saturday night playing against Clermont or playing against Toulouse, and then you're talking about kicking Monday morning. So the danger was that, well, I better live up to this. I better be a good enough kicker. My stats better be good enough because who am I to tell people what to do if I'm kicking at 70%? So this is a worry that went through my brain at the start, but my mentality completely switched again, being like, great, this is going to make me better by the way I help people. And John, you better kick well. So I was up at 93 at one stage and now I'm 88. So I'm still kicking high 80s, which then gives me an opportunity to talk about other kickers. And I feel like I'm backing up. But it's also brilliant for people to see me. So they're coaching with me on a Monday and then they're watching me on a Saturday kicking and doing what I've coached them. So that was kind of my point of difference was that I'm doing it live. Most kickers and most players do when they retire and they're talking about why they missed kicks or why they got it. But I'm telling you why I missed a kick against the Stormers, an easy one on a Saturday. It's kind of unheard of. People are kind of scared to put themselves out there because I'm susceptible to getting abused and also susceptible to making mistakes. So that was kind of worry at the start, but since then it's helped. I feel like I'm learning way more by helping people. They always say coaching is the best way to learn, but even the page last week, someone replied being, "Why are you so fast into the ball?" I was like, "Am I fast into the ball?" I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Ramos is really slow," and I was like, "Yeah, I understand that, but I'm not that slow into the ball." But I was like, maybe I'm a little bit fast. So I went out the next day, the captain's run day, and I was just a tiny bit slower, and I kicked everything. And then I went to warm up for the game, kicked everything in the match, and kicked everything yesterday. So every since I've gone a little bit slower into the ball, I've been kicking better. So I'm getting advice from some random fella on my Instagram page who's essentially now coaching me. So it's pretty amazing that getting those other eyes, and I don't see everything. I understand that. And again, I'm open to it because I haven't grown up being a kicker, whereas you find some kickers who just let me do what I've always done. But I'm still so open to going, well, maybe you're right. A rhetorical question is always a good way to coach, I find, because you make the person think. So that guy accidentally made me think, well, maybe I am doing that wrong. And that fixed my little mistake that I was doing.